All right, party people. This your man Griff. We getting ready to do a quick overview of web development, basic web development, and we're going to be using website tools that I offer people who want to allow me to help them with their website. Now, I don't have the time to build your website, but I'm gonna show you how these tools work so you can make the determination yourself whether you want to use the tools that I have and work with me or use what you currently have. It's choices up to you, but I just want to provide you with a affordable option, and I'll be upfront straight with you because that's what you probably want to know. How much does it cost? $100 a year, unlimited web hosting, unlimited emails. You get my support. I'm not going to build a site for you, but I will help guide you through it if you are a person who's willing to get in here and do it yourself. Now, if you're not willing to do it yourself, then this may not be the option for you. But even if you have a nephew or a cousin or somebody who's in your team that can work the magic and do what they need to do on the website and they're comfortable with it and willing to learn, I got you. I will help them out and it can be a lot more affordable option for you in your business. So we have our man Q popping in here tonight with us. He's going to be asking questions and on your behalf. He's going to be asking questions on your behalf because I'm going to be helping him, working with him, setting him up with his own website and everything. And he wants to do this and he got some questions. So we figured we'll just do sort of a Q&A with just me and him, and y'all can sit back and listen and feel free to pop your questions in the comment section and everything and in the chat, and we'll go from there. All right. So how you doing today, my man?
I'm doing well, Griff. How about yourself, man?
Doing good. Doing good.
Party people, how we feeling? Everybody doing
Yeah.
all right? I hope so.
So to get started, y'all, every business should have a website of some sort, whether a full-blown website of 10, 15 pages or just 4 or 5 pages or just a single page. You need to have something to communicate who you are and what your business is and what services you provide or products you provide to the general public. That's the whole point. It's a way to communicate your business, what your values are, what you're about, and then the person can determine whether or not to use that to determine whether they want to decide to work with you or not. It's a good way to filter people out who aren't for real instead of you constantly getting phone calls and emails and all that stuff about, hey, what's this, what's that? You put it up there and redirect them to the website. No different than when we go to Amazon. Nobody's calling Jeff Bezos saying, hey, do you have those flip flops that I like? No, you go on to Amazon yourself and look up those flip flops that you like. That's the way it works. So I've been doing web development for over 20 years. I do it now on an ad hoc basis, primarily just with a lot of the clients that I already have, because I've been doing so much more with the loan closings and just general notary work that I don't have time to pull on new clients. However, I do have the bandwidth to help people who are interested in doing it themselves and to get them pointed in the right direction and to provide them with the support they need and everything. And every now and then, if I need to hop in there and tweak a page or two myself, I will, to make things easier and move forward for you. But then I'm going to show you how to do it so you can do it yourself going forward. So one of my clients right here, and let me get my share going on. His website is a basic one-page website, and he does cybersecurity compliance and training. And the key thing about all websites is content. You have to have good content to communicate to the people, like it says, about us, the history, the mission. As long as people can understand what they want. So you say, well, that's a short mission. Well, it might be short to you, but it may be straight and to the point for somebody who's in that industry. And that's the key. You're communicating to somebody who needs that service or who's a part of that industry. He's talking about how he can take your business to the next level And the ways that he can do it is through these different options here, these different areas that he personally does within his business. Then he lets them see who he is, gives a brief bio about him, his background, and me and him worked together for years. And he's also a PhD. He's a doctor, so he has his doctorate degree. So my man knows he's Dr. Dowdy. He knows his stuff. Very, very cool guy.
So this is kind of like a landing page.
Correct.
Just very basic, which, you know, in translation to the notary world, you know, when you're just first starting out, a landing page is probably a good idea.
Correct. And one of the things that that happened was that he called me up about maybe 6 months ago, a little bit more, and told me that he needed a quick landing page. And me and him had been working on some other website stuff over the years, and said that he needed a quick landing page because he needed to do, he was trying to get some business partners and proposal stuff and all of that. And I was like, okay, not a problem, man. So I put together a quick landing page for him, and he gave me all of the content, gave me all the verbiage that he wanted. And then I just sat there, went through, looked at different templates that we have, and put something together for him, let him look at it. He signed off on it, and we was good to go. And I was like, all right, bet. So we moved forward from there, and it works for him. So he has unlimited email, all of that. He can expand this into what he wants. He can have his guys manage the website, or I could continue doing it myself.
So for a website like that, I mean, it's pretty basic, has some basic information, you know, not a whole lot of bells and whistles going on. About how long would it take for that to be developed for somebody?
You're talking about probably about a good hour. If you have the content, this verbiage, if you have the verbiage, you're talking about an hour. If you have to sit there, and you can still do it in an hour if you're a wordsmith. If you're a person who's good at text, you know, textualizing your thoughts into content, just you're good. You shouldn't have too much of a problem at all. You'll be able to just get in there, boom, knock it out. Most people may already have that verbiage available, you know, right. Especially if you've been doing some business for a while, you may already have it available. So it's a, you know, so that shouldn't be too much of a trouble spot for you, but you just have to have some content to put up there, and then you can build it from there. Because without content, it doesn't matter how many pretty graphics you have. You got to have some content. And if you don't have that, you can hang it up. You can really, really hang it up. It's just not going to work for you at all.
So basically, you know, the website becomes like a representation of your business, you know, and it gives the public an opportunity to find out everything that you could possibly want to know. Well, not everything, but enough to make a decision, you know, especially as a notary. Putting in that content in there could definitely help your business grow in the long run.
That is correct. That is truly, truly correct. And a lot of people, let's see. And that's where a lot of people don't understand. If they got to give people something to understand who they are and what they offer, because this is a way you could then differentiate yourself. A lot of people just are replicating what everybody else is doing, and they're not showing people who they are as a business owner and as a notary public and what offers services they offer. Because let's just be real, like nowadays with the gas prices, you probably going to want to let people know that, hey, the gas prices don't stop me from coming to you. If you need me to come to you, I'm gonna come to you. And if you come to people, they will be appreciative, and that's how you get those tips and things of that nature, that people are like, okay, I'm gonna give you a tip because look, you came all the way out here and you didn't have to, and you could have charged me an arm and a leg, but you gave me a fair price. And because you did that, you know, they'll tip you.
Right. Right. I mean, the website, again, it's like you said it really well. It's a way to differentiate yourself from everybody else out there, because face it, when we're in the notary business, We're in a business that either you need it or you don't. We're not persuading anybody to get a notarization. Either they need it or we don't. So they're already looking for the service, and that website is a representation of you, which is going to help them better decide if they're going to go with you or they're going to go with, the cat down the road.
Correct. So like for my website, now my website is very, very basic. And just I have not even updated my site in 4 years. So you'll look through my site and be like, man, you need to fix that, fix this. There might be misspellings. Who knows? Okay. I won't lie to you. But what you have on my site is who I am. You have the types of notarization services to meet your needs, wills, power of attorneys, deed of trust, administering oaths and affirmations, taking acknowledgments, advanced directives, commercial and residential closings. So I'm giving them in a nutshell what you're going to get from me. Something here resonates with somebody. And even if I did not cover their specific issues, say like court ordered papers, child support papers, or whatever, they see that I do a lot of stuff that may pull them in to say, well, let me ask him to do other stuff, or does he do other stuff? Then I have a contact form here. People can just type, their name and all of that. Hit the little robot thing. They do all of that. Got the security. No fire hydrants. Oh, forgot to put that. And then boom, it sends off the email to let me know that somebody is reaching out to me. And down here at the bottom, form was sent successfully. Then I have a little section that talks about my mobile notary services. Then I have a section that talks about my mobile loan closing services. So I'm showing people that, okay, I got these. To me, you can put all of this in one, but I'm showing people that I have this section. And then if you want to schedule me, you click that and it takes you right back to the form. And you say, well, I don't need regular notary, but I need this here. Well, what do he has here? Has a little bit of my bio, my history, all of that. Has a video, has a link to a video that's showing my mobile printer setup.
Nice.
I have a link to my SnapDocs profile or any other profile that you have out there.
Now that right there is a little golden nugget. If you're not utilizing your website and everywhere else that you have a footprint at, online, and putting something like this, like your profile, your customers are going to read this too. If it's out there, they're definitely going to check this out because that's going to let them know a little bit more about you. So if you're not using, all of the resources and tools that you have available, you're selling yourself short.
That is correct. And from an SEO standpoint, when you go to this here site, when somebody clicks and goes to your profile, it starts indexing, which it's already done, Google, but now they got Griffin Notary Services. So when somebody does a Google search, on Griffin Notary Services, let's just take that. You see? And then there's my SnapDocs profile.
What's that, number 2?
Yep.
Look at that.
And this is me not doing any SEO. I don't have any specialized SEO on my site. And now just for clear, for people looking at this saying, man, he got 3.7 reviews. The percentage, the reason why is because there's this guy out there that got mad at me because I called him out on him selling printers on Amazon and not having them. And he gave me a 1-star review because he wanted me to take a review down off of his site, off of his Amazon thing, and I wouldn't. And I didn't even review him. I just asked him where my printer was because he was selling printers on multiple sites and all that. And I'm only throwing this in there as a side note because somebody will see that and be like, no wonder he can't do no general notary work. Because, and I'm not even advertising it, but I know how people eyeballs are. They're like, oh, what's his reviews? He ain't got no 5-star reviews like Matherin.
Oh, Mathering's killing it.
I know. And I got to get with Google to get that guy's review off of my thing because he himself, I never done any business with him. But yeah, so this is linking, bam, to my SnapDocs profile.
Now, real quick, because you mentioned SEO, I don't think a lot of people understand what SEO is, and we don't have to spend a lot of time talking about it, but it is worth mentioning how that's important, especially when you're putting together a website.
Well, give them an overview. Feel free to give them an overview because I know you're very good at it.
I'm okay. Don't put that much pressure on me with it. Now I'm okay. My website, I've done a little bit. Basically, with the SEO, what you're looking at is exactly what Griffin's showing you. You've got those backlinks, and that's what that would be called, where you saw the Griffin's notary services. I forget exactly what it was on the link on your SnapDocs page. However, with SEO, when you have your website, with your own domain, so not like a, let's say, qthenotary.sites.google.com, but I have qthenotary.com. That's my domain. So Google, thank you for pulling that up. As you can see, this is my Google Sites page. This is my first landing page that I built for my website. For myself, as I was just getting started, because I just wanted something, right? So this was an avenue for me to just put something down. And again, you see my fees there. So you can definitely see exactly what I'm charging. And anybody that comes to me, they know where I serve. I've got a Google map there. And I've created backlinks to LinkedIn, Thumbtack, Facebook, Instagram. All of my information that you see on this site is consistent across all of those sites, as well as Yellow Pages, B2 Yellow Pages, Foursquare. All of that information is precise across all of those sites, which allows, and each one of those sites, like Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, they all have different weights when it comes to the Google search engines. So ultimately, what we're really trying to do is we're trying to take these websites and get ourselves ranked higher when people are searching for our services. So if somebody's doing a notary near me, we have to do all of these things on the back end and have all of these backlinks to be able to jump over the other people that are offering those services in our areas. And all of us, we Google, Google taco restaurants close to us, right?
Right.
We'll Google something like that, and it's those websites. We never go to the second page. For some reason, we always say, okay, whatever's first, whatever's here, I'm just going to go with the top rated person that's on this first page, and if they don't answer, I'm going to go to the second rated person with the best ratings that's on this first page, and we never really go towards that second or third page. Mm-hmm. So when we're getting into web development and we start building out these web pages, our goal is to be ranked amongst the top in our areas, so that way people can actually find us. And that's the biggest thing with having that digital imprint, that footprint online. So, and I'm sure that we're going to touch on this as well, but there's certain keywords, like when you do the search, you saw Griffin Notary Services, Virginia Beach. That was in the search result, right? So if somebody's looking for notary services, Virginia Beach, Griffin Notary is going to come up automatically because that's a part of his website. So it's really important to, if you don't have a website at this point, get your website put together and get yourself visible. And that's one of the things that, Griff and I talk about. And one of the reasons why I'm talking to Griff, because as you saw, I have that very basic Google Sites page. I am rolling out another business. It's Captivated Notary Marketing Solutions, which is going to require a little bit more than what Google Sites can offer me, right? And when Griff told me about his services, I said, this would be a great opportunity to really kind of dive into, the difference of having a very basic website and then looking at different, a more complex, more robust website development that allows you to do so much more. And that's really one of the things that we like to show off in this Notary Tech Talk is, he pulled up my little site. I could say that's my little site, but then you've got Griff's site that's a little bit more robust. Even though it's just a landing page, it does offer a lot more options if he chose to grow. At my site right now, I can't add another avenue the way that I'd like to onto QTheNotary.com. I need something that's going to be a little bit more robust and offer more for what it is that I'd like to do with it. So, going back to the SEO again, we really just, there we go. You see how, if you scroll,
you look right here, yeah. So boom, boom, boom. First three, thumbtack, all of that. But one of the things, now this here is one of the things that shows you, sometimes you can see it's depending on the situation, they'll show you different keywords that you can use as a part of your SEO, and they'll be down here in the related searches and everything. So, somebody might click on mobile notaries near me, things of that nature, So for me, it's going now, for right now, it's showing up my area and all of that. But going back to what Q was saying, for as items, for as how to make your site more robust. So like this is my wife's site. What she has on here is videos. And one of the things that people fail to understand about SEO, the longer somebody hangs on your site, the better.
Right.
How do you get them to hang on your site? Videos. If you have videos, boom. So they come on, and she's pulling it straight from her YouTube channel.
Welcome to Sharpen Skills, cosmetology education customized just for you. Sponsored by Sharpen Your Skills Continuing Education and Salon. Cosmetology training program, Fast Facts. Each student who is enrolled in the cosmetology training program receives a cosmetology student kit featuring a professional 2,000 watt dryer, 3/4 inch Marcel curling iron, ultra thin 1 inch straightening iron, clippers, trimmers, shears, thinning shears, and styling razor. 6 mannequins featuring a 4-color training mannequin and deluxe travel case, and much, much more.
That is awesome.
You see?
Two professional uniforms featuring a top, pants, and warm-up lab jacket.
Your books.
Books and study resources featuring a textbook, theory and practical workbooks, study guide, exam review, online practice test.
So right there, that right there helps your SEO, because people are on the site for much longer. And when they go searching for cosmetology, it's like, well, Google said, well, people been spending time on this. Right. So you're giving people. So again, this is content. This is what people's missing on their website. This is content that's like, oh, it's telling a story. It's telling me that if I come here, boom, this is what I can get.
And it's giving a full story. She's answering all questions. So anybody that's calling, they already know what to expect.
Right.
This is a great representation of your wife's school.
Right. And then down here, it tells straight up, it's telling you how much.
Welcome to Sharpen Your Skills, cosmetology training program, the payment process. $13,000, $3,000 down, $500 a month. Pay for your training in 20 months or less. Visit online at sharpenyourskills.com or email admissions@sharpenyourskills.com.
And then her end screen, boom. All of that.
So, and these are some of those more robust options that you have when you go with something that offers a little bit more. Something like Wix will offer it. Also, WordPress, and I believe that's what you use, correct?
Right. I use WordPress. And one of the questions that we was talking about earlier is what's the difference between using Wix, GoDaddy, Bluehost, HostGator, all of them. The main difference is you got me. That's the main difference. You got me. And then the team that I have, the DreamHost team, that's the company that I use, DreamHost. They back me. I mean, if I need if I have any questions whatsoever, any issues. Now, there's been times where I was experimenting, developing something on my website, and I completely blew it up. I mean, blew it up to where my website was like, I didn't know where it was at. And I went and contacted them, and I was like, yo, I messed something up. About 2 hours later, they're like, your site's back. I ain't even asked what happened. I was like, okay, cool. But they told me anyway. They said, hey, this is what happened. Your stuff got into a loop. You was trying to do something and you added an extra comma or you forgot to put a period or something. And it just got into a loop and they couldn't get out of there and everything. So, and the reason why I couldn't fix it is because I don't have access to that side of the house. They do. So they went in there, saw what the problem, checked the code. They got the server log. And like I said, it took them about 2 hours to get it all fixed, which wasn't that long, to be honest. And I was back up and running,
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a huge benefit over something like with what I'm dealing with Google Sites. If something goes wrong with Google Sites, I'm using Google to try to figure out what's going on with my Google Sites. I don't have somebody that I can call like that.
Right. And that's the thing. And you can, now let's say with Wix and all of them, you can call them, but they're going to charge you a grip. They're going to charge you an arm and a leg. And that's just for one service call. That's for that one service call right then and there. If you try to get anything extra out of them, it's a no-go.
Now let's talk about that, because that's something that, and one of the reasons why we started having this conversation was I initially started building out my new website on Wix, and then I started looking at the upgrades, upgrading from a free service to possibly paying for their more the other options that they offer to their paying members, and those charges start to add up really quickly.
Yeah.
One of the things that really turned me off from purchasing, one of their memberships was, I think it was like $40 for 10 megabytes of video storage, which is nothing when it comes to video these days. I mean, if I'm just doing a mini video, it's going to run me, 34 megabytes, and that's just for one video. So, when you start paying for more and more space and more storage and to have access with things, it's like you don't get everything that you want. It's like if you move up to this price tier, they're going to offer certain things that you don't necessarily need, like additional email and whatnot. And you're paying for stuff that you just typically just don't actually need. And it gets very pricey on a monthly basis, because they do charge usually on a monthly basis. So, $30, $40, $50, $60, $70. And they have all these options that a lot of the stuff you don't need, but you may be purchasing just to have more space.
Correct. That is correct. And that is what's happening, because they overwhelm people, and there's nothing wrong with that. They overwhelm you with a lot, hoping that you will figure it out yourself and you never have to really call them, or to overwhelm you to the point you have to call them. So what I try to do is give people exactly what they need. So you get unlimited server space, so you're not going to run out of space. You get unlimited email. You can make the website 1 page or 5,000 pages. It's up to you. If you want to, you can actually add in a shopping cart, all of that. Now, those will require, special plugins and things of that nature, and like WooCommerce and all of that. But it's easily integrated into your site, and you're not paying an arm and a leg for it. So and then again, you have me there to help you through the process. And that's what's important, is that I'm trying to help people to find a way to do this themselves without overstretching themselves. And that's one of the things that can happen real easy, is that you could end up overstretching yourself. So
you said $100 for a year.
$100 for the year.
Like 100.
That's it. And a lot of people are like, well, how can you do that? Because I can. Now, here's the thing. And I tell people, I said, it's either pay the 100 or you're going to pay several hundred with other people. But as long as
it's out there, like those prices are ridiculous.
Right. And as long as you, and like I always say, the more you want somebody to do for you, the less they're going to pay you, or the more it's going to cost you.
Right.
It's going to be one of the two. It's going to cost you more, or you're not going to get a whole lot. So a lot of people go into these services, to do notary stuff. The more those services do for you and set things up and get the customers for you and all that, they're not going to pay you full price. It's like, hey, look, we done spent a lot of time and money getting them. We're only going to pay you $150. But if you go out and get them yourself, you can get a C note 50. That's the difference, and then with me and with some of the other ones, you have control over your site. It's actually yours. But then some of the companies, they get you so pulled and locked in that, man, you have a really hard time breaking away if you decide to do that and stuff and all of that. So what I'm gonna show y'all real quick, like this here's a page. This here, let me see if I can find it over here. Here it is. So this is a website that I put together called, sorry about that, y'all. I'm so used, I'd be scrolling so fast. Website that I put together a couple of years ago called Ladies Lunch and Learn. Somebody wanted it. I did it for them. You can tell this was back in 2019. They haven't done anything with it since, but I put together a nice website for them, and has a bio for each speaker.
So if we were going to use this for like a notary site, that functionality right there, can you scroll back down? Yeah, that functionality. So that could actually be very useful for us if we were putting something like power of attorney. You click on the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. All right.
Right. Well, now here's what you could do with something like this. You can say power of attorney, and you can actually say what you need to have. In other words, witnesses, this, that, or the other. You can actually have your fees in there or whatever you want. You can have whatever you want in there if you wanted to. Now, you could also do this. You can have links to websites, say like Rocket Lawyer, LegalZoom, that provide those services. You're not doing the service, but then I would still say you may need to check with your state whether or not you're allowed to redirect them to a service. I don't know. But again, that's an option if it's not illegal for you to redirect somebody to a service like LegalZoom or Rocket Lawyer, so forth and so on. But you could use this here area for that cause.
Right. And that's a really good idea. There's that fine line of providing legal advice versus a suggestion.
Yeah. And I'm trying to find. Oh man, I forgot the guy's name. I was just. I think. Is this it? I can't remember. But yeah. So this is what I did. So with regards to this, so this here's the editing area. So if I wanted to edit, so let's just say I wanted to change this picture here. I want to change this picture. And again, I'm just giving a general overview, people. I'm not going to go too deep into it. But if I want to give a general overview, here's this here and change the picture out. So one of the sites that I use, I probably have to log into it, is Adobe. I use Adobe Stock. This is one of the sites. So you can go in here. You see, and you can find any of these pictures here. And find a picture that you would like to have. I'll have to log in to download all of that. Let me log into this real quick. So any other questions you got?
So now I just want to see how easy it is to change this picture, because something that I was thinking about, something that some people might be struggling with is paying somebody to do your website, paying for somebody to make a change like that. Like, I'd like this picture change. It's going to cost you some money.
Right. For some people, it'll cost money. So one of the things that I do, and this is where I come in to help you out. So I already know I need this size. Y'all might not be able to see that. So I look at the size of it. All right. So the size is 1920 by 1280. All right. So I know I need to get that particular size. So then I come over here to what is this here? Adobe. And that's a little too big. That's too big. But we'll try it anyway.
I mean, really, it's just, I guess it's just, I'd like to see how easy it is to make a small change like that, because, I think a lot of people, when it comes to web development, now it can get complicated depending on what it is that you'd like to do. But if you're just starting out, this is something that you can learn, take baby steps. Your business doesn't need a website that that rivals, whatever Nike's most modern web pages are. You just need something that's really basic. And I think that there's a lot of tools out there that are available that will help you learn to understand what you're doing, without costing you additional, especially if you're just starting out or you've been doing this for a while and you still don't have a web page. You can do it and play around with this, and it's not that hard.
That is correct. So as you saw, I downloaded the picture. Then I went to the location where the picture was at. And then I said, okay, now I'm going to insert it. And there you go.
It's that simple.
So now save it over here.
Now, what if you wanted to change that text up there that says, or any of that text? So work with.
All right. So to change the text, you just click in here. You could either change it here. You can just add in that simple, or you could click in this box over here and change it that way. And then this here, so when I hit refresh, that should change that picture. Oh, I forgot to hit save.
Yeah, so I think that there's an option, and WordPress is one of the more I don't want to say difficult, but I would say robust,
Correct.
options out there to build your own site. And if you're looking to pay somebody to do it, like I think there's websites like Fiverr or something out there. You might be able to get away with paying somebody, you know, not that much money to build you a basic site, but you're also going to end up having to pay them time and time again because you don't know how to manipulate and edit your site.
Correct. That is correct. And that's where the issue comes for most people, is that they don't know how to go in there and do it themselves. And for a lot of people, it's really not that hard. It really, really isn't that hard. You just have to be willing to, like they say, get your hands dirty and stuff. So you go through here and you can make all of these different changes to the site. Let's say if instead of having this area, you want to get rid of it. It's
Bye
gone.
bye.
That's gone. Now, one of the things that I do, and down here you can click on history, bring that back. So let's say you like, you know what? I want to hold this for later. I might want to bring this back.
All right.
So you click, so you can just right click and then say, I'm gonna save this as a template. And then I'm gonna just call it SFL01, save for later. And you can see I got all kind of little templates in here that I've saved. And then I delete it. It's gone. So then if I want to bring it back, I can say, let me go to my templates. I want to bring this here. And there it is.
It's that simple.
Yep. So these are things that you can do with the site. And I'm showing y'all this on a very, very small, basic, real basic level. Then you just, make sure you always save down here at the bottom. And this is just this is very, very basic. How to go in here and just make some basic changes, tweak the site, all of that. And that's all you do, so you can change all of this here, you can change this here, Hampton, Virginia. You have a web form in here, if you wanted to change this web form, you can add more fields to it, boom, you see there, you add an item.
So, what would you suggest for somebody like if they were starting with a blank slate? Maybe they had a template. What would be the first thing that you would tell them to start with? Because this could be a foreign thing for a lot of people.
Right.
You and I, we both have an IT background, but this could be a foreign thing. So, like, where would you tell them to start?
Well, first thing is, what do you want people to see when they come to your site? That's the first thing. When they come, what do you want them to see?
My telephone number.
So that's where sites like and let me pull these. So you have Adobe stock, which comes with your a lot of time with that Adobe membership. You have another one called Pixel Bay. This here site has all kinds of things. You can just go through here and find videos. Find pictures of pretty much anything that you want. Now they do have some stuff like this here, iStock. That's paid. You gotta pay for those, but you can join. You can go to Pixel Bay and get some stuff for free. There's another one called, I think, pixels or something like that. Let me see if I can find it.
Actually, you just hit on something that's really important when you're starting to grab these images from websites, and if you're posting them, even on Instagram or a lot of times on Facebook or whatnot, you got to check the copyright laws. And usually, if you're
Right.
dealing with a site like this, they'll tell you what you can use it for and what you can't use it for. So just stay aware of where you're pulling things from, and staying in line with what the existing copyright allows you to do with it.
So with right. So with Google, I mean, a lot of people looking at like, okay, I want to use this here. It may be copyrighted.
Yep. Right
You
there
know,
where it
like
says
this is
license
embedded
details.
images.
Yeah.
You may not want to try to mess with that. You just may not want to mess with that. So that's why I stick with either Adobe Stock, Pexels, or Pixabay. And I have an account with each one of those, along with my Adobe, Stock, and I get my images off of these here. So this is where I go to get my images from, primarily off of Adobe. You know, you can find stuff for Notary, all of that. You know, you just come right in here and get and get your pictures, whatever you want to use, from right here. Some of the stuff that I've been using for my Canva, I've been getting off of here.
You're getting sharp on that Canva, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm working it, man. So I'll come here and get an image and all of that, and you can have a library that, you know, I don't even know if I got anything in my library. Yeah. So I think I use this image here. I think I use this image. I use this item. So y'all can see these are some of the images that I've used. Here's the picture for the my friend's website that I got from there. So these are pictures that I've used for different websites. This here's for I use that picture. I use this picture. So hold on. So you see this picture right here?
Mm-hmm.
Where you see right there? I use that and I just let it crop it out. So, so that's what I'm saying. You know, the Adobe Stock is a really, really good site. And if there's pictures and things of that nature that you're interested in using, you can just come here and use them. I use this here, Reunited. It feels so good for a website, for a family reunion one. I've used this here. I use this picture for one of my Fritter Fridays. I think I used this one or that one. Email scams, all of that kind of stuff. You know, set up your LLC. I just use that one. So those are different things that you can do, you know, or different places where you can get some graphics from. So you come up with an idea and you just start. I mean, there's no way I could sit here and say, okay, well, here's the 15 steps and boom. Now there might be a person out there who can, but you still got to do what? Say, okay, well, what I want to do, you know. So let's just take something. Let me go back to something real quick. And
yeah, I know once that creative process starts, I'm a very creative person. You know, the Fritter Friday what do you call? What would you call that? Not an icon. The flyer that we did for Fritter Friday. You know, once you have an idea in your head, just
Right.
start
So
playing. Just
put a
start playing.
thumbnail.
Yeah, the thumbnail. Just start playing.
Yeah.
You gotta play with it and figure out, okay, how do you want to feel about this? And if you're working on a business website, how do you want to feel about your website?
Yeah.
What emotion are you trying to elicit from it?
So, well, let me go back to one thing real quick. Let me go back before I hit this, because we were doing this earlier. So for those people who just want to say, I don't feel like trying to design something from scratch.
The templates.
One of the things we have is starter templates.
Mm-hmm.
And thank y'all for hanging in this far, y'all. Should have started off with this here. But with the starter templates, you got all these different templates that you can use and manipulate into a site. You can make it into whatever you want. Let me slow me scroll down. This here, if you notice, okay, let me show y'all something. You see this? That's it right there.
Yeah. That's the easiest thing to do is, web pages have been being created. I mean, Griff's been doing it for 20 years, and I'm sure it was being done, 20 years before that. There's a lot of inspiration to draw from. There's a lot of things that have already been created. So take a little bit of this, take a little bit of that, make yourself a website jambalaya.
So let's take a look at this here. All right. This is a good example. So this here is what they provided. They said, hey, you can use this and make this into what you want. Okay. And it has all these different pages and stuff. And we wasn't using all of that. But if you look at it, so here's the top, same top, the about us. And that's what I did. I changed it. What we do, I changed it to our company. You have that graphic right there. You come now, I switched it out there. Then I changed that to our services. You left that, our services. Take your business to the next level. Got rid of this stuff here that wasn't needed. And then I threw in this. Only difference is I didn't use a icon graphic. Couldn't find anything that matched what the theme of what he was doing there. Then him, and I put him in this section here. I got rid of this here ratings thing. Left this. We got rid of this because he didn't want the web form at the moment. And then boom, the footer. And changed it. That's all I did. I just sat there and I found something and I just went through, looked at all of those different templates and said, okay, this is what I want. So with this one, it has other pages to it. So it actually has an About Us page.
But you didn't need it.
Right. Didn't need it because we were just going with the front page.
Right.
Services, you got branding, all of that. So if you wanted to bring this in, and look, you can sit here and say, okay, I'm going to change my color schemes. Look how easy that is.
Boom.
You can change your color schemes to whatever you want. There's your green. There's your blue. There's your darker blue.
It works well.
Yeah. So you literally could pull this whole thing in. And then you have to tweak that. You can mess with the fonts. All of that. To whatever you want. And then you can pull all this here. And then when you hit this button, it pulls it in. It pulls all that in there for you. And then you can go in there and manipulate it even more.
That's awesome.
It's really that simple. It really is that simple. You can go in there and manipulate it to whatever you want it to be, and that's why I like the Elementor and the Astra. And let me just show y'all real quick. Let me pull it up over here and drag it over. Now, again, if you're the type of person that's willing to go in here and learn a little something, and I'm a big proponent of you learning stuff on your own and having some kind of ownership of the process. Now, again, if you're already rocking and rolling and you making tons of money, you can still use my service and you can have somebody else build it and use these same tools and still retain ownership of it like you want. And everything. So this guy here, WP Crafter, that's his YouTube channel.
In this video, I'm going to teach you how to make a sales funnel website. In fact, we're going to go over making.
So this here is everything you need to know. Everything you need to know. Everything you need to know. Fair use YouTube, in case they try to ping me on playing that small clip of his video. Fair use for educational purposes only, just showing them how to use this here. And he has tons of videos. And again, this is if you want to get into that, then you'll stay away from this stuff. You know, you will most definitely stay away from this stuff. But this is the guy who I go to get all of my information and some inspiration on how I'm going to design a site and everything. So you can go through here, pick out any site that you want, anything, and then you can craft it into what you want. As me and Q was talking about earlier, for notaries, I tend to like the lawyer sites. I think they're a little bit cleaner and
Absolutely.
And everything. And then you can find your picture. So you can take, so let's just say, I mean, this here, he's just looking real ominous. You don't have to have that. So let's just say for in this case here, you know, you're looking up for notary. You can take any of these here. You could take this picture here and stick it into here and instead. You see what I'm saying? So you can do all of that. You can change this picture. You can put a different picture here. You can change this up instead of practice areas. It can be services. So it can be all your different services that you offer. You can talk about, you know, you can have videos. See, and again, those video clips mean something, you know. So you can have a clip here and it pulls people in and you can talk to people. Now, here's the problem. A lot of people, a lot of business owners, they want to be so far behind the scenes, they don't want anybody to see them. But some of the most successful businesses, the people are out there in front of you, like, here I am, this is me. And I guess that's why I like YouTube so much. You know, Clubhouse is cool, but Clubhouse, you don't really get to see the person. I like being able to see people, seeing their facial expressions, their body language. That tells me a lot about them. It really tells me a lot about them.
I got more responses and I started getting more hits with the more pictures that I had available of myself. You know, Matherin's a great example of what he does, you know, having videos out of himself on pretty much across all of his social media where, you know, clients can see him. You know, once I started putting my face out there, once I started putting more of myself out there, I started getting better responses from customers.
Right. So if you wanted to start from scratch, you can start from scratch. You can just create a brand new page. You up here, click with edit with Elementor. And then to go through this thing, pull it up so it can edit it. And then you can actually pull in one of the many templates that are already inside of Elementor. So you can pull this template in here. You can go in here and you can pull in any template that you want and make it, and then you can craft it into anything you want. I believe, sorry about that. Further down, they used to have that. I forgot which one, but you can pull those in. I might not have connected this to the server. That's what I probably forgot to do. But if you wanted to, you can make your own. You got this. It can be boxed. It could be full width. A lot of times people will use the full width.
And so it's extremely customizable. It could be as easy as you'd like it to be, or you can make it as difficult as you'd like to make it.
Correct.
Make it for yourself, you know.
You can make it whatever size you want. All of that. So you can do whatever you want. You can have that because a lot of people like the big picture right up front. Then you have your 3 sides. You can put a header there. You can throw a picture over here. And then you say, well, no, I want the picture on that side. You grab this, and then you drop it there. You say, well, nope, I made a mistake. Boom. I want my picture all the way over there. Put my header back in the middle. You say you want an area, you want another section. You got a portfolio that you can put in here.
It's extremely customizable, and these are some of the options that you don't get when you're going with a service like Google Sites. You don't get this level of customization with Google Sites. Now, it does let you customize some, but you're kind of trapped into a box of what the new Google Sites does. I think the old one allowed a little bit more customization, allowed a little bit more coding, but with what Griff is doing here, that's not something that you're going to get with a free Google Sites page. So if you're looking to do something and you want something that's extremely customized, because you have an image of exactly how you want your notary business to be represented online, an option like Griff is offering to people is definitely a route that I would take. And I am going to take it, actually. Yeah. So.
And I mean, you can have all kinds of stuff. So let's just say you create this section here, and let's say you want a gallery in there. And then you can sit here and select the images that you want. And boom, now you got your gallery. And then let's say you wanted to do a double gallery of some other pictures. You just right click, duplicate. And boom, and there it is. And then you say, well, I want to put a section in between there. And then boom, here's your section in between. And then you say, I want to do a spacer. and then you can make that spacer as big as you want.
Right.
So these are different things you want, and I'm just being very, very basic with it for some people. And again, if that's not your heart, then I won't hear from you. Okay, it's just that simple. This is not Griff trying to make anybody do anything. This is trying to show a different option if you so desire. If you want to keep things very basic, then you can. You can delete all of that stuff out. Then let's just say you put this together, but you can publish it and save it for later, or you can make it an actual template. So you can click down here and say save as draft or save as a template that you want to use and replicate multiple times, and just change the content up depending on what you got going on. So there's a lot that you can do. Not saying that you can't do it with those others, but again, if you get stuck on something, are you going to get the help that you need? Because there's billions of sites that have been just abandoned because the person couldn't get the necessary help that they needed. And that's what I try to do for y'all. I try to provide y'all with the help that you need so you can move forward. And I always suggest for a lot of people that you just start with a pre-made site, and then you tweak it to what you want it to be. But again, if you are a person void of creativity, and I'm not trying to be funny here, because a lot of us are, because look, as much as I run my mouth when it comes to doing graphical stuff, I am highly void of creativity. And if you think about it, looking at my channel, my older videos, I never used a thumbnail. And that was the reason why, because I was like, I don't know what to put there. And I look at people, I'm like, I ain't got time to be doing all of this. And Q, he's good at it, the pointing.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. I think, are we rolling out the intro video for this?
Oh man, I've got you know what? I need to find a link for that.
You know what? I'll send it over to you.
Okay. Because I had it and I misplaced it. Well, I don't know if I misplaced it. I just don't remember where I put it.
Yeah, we'll get that to you. So hopefully that gets added to this. And you guys have already seen it. But you know, that's just a creative moment where you have an idea of what it is that you'd like to do. And Griff, I just placed it in the Dropbox in the back chat for you.
Okay. And here's the thing, y'all. All of these templates are here for you to use. I mean,
yeah, you could change the pictures. You know, just because they look that way doesn't mean that they have to stay that way. You can customize all of that.
Right. And this here, and let's just say you got some other business that you want to run. You know, again, I like the lawyer sites. For whatever reason, I really do like the lawyer sites.
If for our business, the notary world, it works well, you know, because they kind of go hand in hand.
I mean, you can sit here and put your picture here easily. Get you a nice size picture. Boom.
All right, you got your logo up there in the corner. You know, you got your phone number right up front.
Number. And then you can talk about whatever you want. I mean, this here could be a services area. This here could be people who you partner with. This here's other areas of practice that you deal with.
Right, could be areas of service.
Here's testimonial, contact form.
You can put a map in there.
Yep, you can throw a map in here if you want. All kinds of stuff. All right.
Yeah, we gotta get that at the beginning, man. It's an intro. It's about to be an outro.
Yeah, that's tight.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get that at the beginning of this video. And again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to create something for you.
No problem, man. No problem. Well, party people, like I said, was just y'all just talking and do website development. Just as much as I love doing Notary, as much as passionate I am about Notary, I am the same way when it comes to website development and everything. And I mean, when I really have the time to focus and get into it, I can really make some things pop and go and happen. And there's just some key things that I try to get people to understand. There's some small things that if you got people constantly coming to your site, spending time on your site, I'm telling you, it will make a huge difference. The Google Analytics and all of that. I mean, I'm able to put the Google Analytics in your site to where you can see how much people are coming to your site, how much time people spending on your site, and not saying that other platforms out there, Wix and all of them, don't do it. But again, when you get in trouble, when you need help, the question is, do you have the dollars to pay for it? And that's really what it boils down to. I mean, you can use Wix, you can use GoDaddy, but if you don't really have the money to pay their fees, well, I'll put it this way. If you're not going out there to do the work to get the money. So if you don't have the money and then you're not doing the work to get the money, you're going to be stuck. It's just
get a Google Sites.
Right. Go with the low hanging fruit and hit that up and all of that. So that's what you may have to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is truly, truly nothing wrong with that.
No.
I'm trying to just provide an option. And I have to keep saying this over and over because we know how human beings are. They'll take that, well, I ain't doing this, that, and the other. And see, I don't want you signing up with me if you're not ready and willing to put in the work. If you're not ready and willing to put in the work, now there's going to be a link to a Google form for you to fill out in the description. Click on that. And one of the questions is, are you willing to do what it takes? And if you're not willing to do what it takes, just say, no, you're not. I mean, because then we ain't going to rock together. So how much are you willing to put into this? Maybe you have somebody on your team that can. This year may be a viable option for you. But again, this is totally up to you. You are not required to do this. You're not even required to even respond or fill out the form or any of that. Okay. I just put that form together as an intake so that I can have an idea about, what people are looking for and what they want. Some of you may already have a domain name. I can transfer it over. And in some cases, you can leave it where it's at, and then I can redirect it off of my server. It's up to you. Or if you don't have a domain name, I can sit there and get you one built, So let's do this here real quick.
I think that's what we're going to end up doing, bro.
Yeah. But now you don't have your domain name yet, have you?
No, I have not gotten my domain name yet. No.
Gotcha. Okay. So let me.
And it was actually when I got to the point of starting to marketing my business and putting things together where I said, you know what? Now I'm at the point of grabbing a domain name I don't want to pay for all this extra stuff that Wix is trying to make me pay for.
Mm-hmm. Hold on 1 second. All right. And you are Captivative Notary, right?
So,
Or did you want to use something different?
No, we're gonna go Captivated. I'm gonna text it to you in the back chat.
Okay.
If you got that up, Captivated Notary, MS.com will work for me. Captivated Notary Marketing Solutions. That's just kind of long to spell out the whole thing. So MS is how it's gonna have to be.
All right. So let me roll up over here. All right. So let me zoom in, make sure I got the stuff set up straight. That's the correct spelling.
Captivated Notary MS. Yes.
All right. So the domain name is only $7. All right. Let me slide you over here so nobody won't be seeing my card information.
And we don't need you getting none of that. And they know you're working too.
Mm-hmm. All right. One brief moment. All right. There it is. Reserve.
Wonderful.
Just that fast, y'all.
Boom. That took like a minute and 5 seconds.
That's it. So that's reserved. So the domain name reserve is going to do its thing. It'll send me an email letting me know that it's all set up on my server. Once that's done, then what I do is I go in here and I put on HTTPS for your security. So you'll see this here, this green. This is one we was working latest lunch and learn. So I'll get the HTTPS on there so that so you can do all of the secure stuff and just go from there. And then I add in the WordPress, all of that, my WordPress stuff.
That is awesome.
I mean, it's really this simple. All I do is I just click and then I just select the domain name that I want to stick it on. And then I just hit install. That takes about another 10-15 minutes and you're up and running. So 15 minutes after I reserve it, another 15 minutes for me to get the baseline. And then from there, I just install all of my plugins. So for me, probably about 45 minutes or so.
That's not bad on your end.
Right. And that's why I said, I mean, they made it very, very simple for me. So it's not going to, level of effort is easy.
Right.
It's just boom, boom, boom. I just click, 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 and it's done. And then from there, I put in the plugins. Once I get the plugins, make sure I download any updates, and then you're off and running. And then
I can't wait.
You have all those templates. And they update them too. So now I will say sometimes there might be a template you might have used and then they don't offer it anymore, but they don't take it off of the, from, like stop you from using it once you get it installed and everything. So, I mean, that's really it. I know it's sort of, we've been up for a while, hour 20, but it's real simple. But at the end of the day, all you have to do as the user, as the person, you just got to decide, get an idea. And I tell people all the time, just get a piece of paper and just start jotting down what you want people to come and find out about you.
Right.
Think of it as a no different than just taking a piece of paper and making a 3-fold flyer, just like this here. Sorry about all the glare. There you go. You know, just like this. Let me hop on this real quick. You know, just like this. This here, all you're doing is saying, okay, I want this big number 1 here. I want some content up here. I want this big white area here for the address. I want some stuff down here. I want this circle thing here. I want this content over here. I got some little text here and then this blue bar here. That's all you're doing. You just sit there and get a rough outline, and then you have the verbiage that you want people to read. You create the video, and you're done.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward like
It
that.
is very straightforward, but you can complicate it because you're sitting there thinking, trying to make it perfect. And again, when you make a book and you publish that book, if there's a change, it's going to cost you. When you make a website and there's a change, it just costs you time. It costs, but it just costs you some time, and it can cost you money if you don't want to do it yourself and you want to pay somebody or Q. Then you have, I mean, that's the cost of doing business, you know. And again, if you know somebody who you feel competent that can do this, I'll be glad to work with them, provide them the necessary access, and then they can get in there and get your site popping. And you say, well, what if somebody uses the same site as me? Okay.
That's fine.
I mean, y'all buying notary books from the same people. You're marketing stuff on Instagram, pretty much the same, you know. So,
which, speaking of which, we're going to change that. We're going to change that. Captivated Notary Marketing Solutions. We're changing that. Trying to change the game. So selfless plug right there. Check me out. Instagram. Changing the game when it comes to this marketing, the way that we're looking at things. Stop marketing to each other. You're not marketing to anybody that's going to use your services.
Yeah.
All right. If you're out there looking for customers, Instagram is not the place for you. Okay. You're just talking to other notaries, but there's solutions, and guess what? It's free. You know, where you got to go is free. So hit me up.
Cool. So let's see here. All right. So look at that. Just that quick. Captivated Notary. And then I'm just going to add the hosting.
It's alive.
Yep. So let me pull this over here so they don't see your username and stuff.
What we got? You want me to send you a username?
Nope, I already got one.
Okay.
Yeah, it does one automatically.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. All right.
No, this is an awesome service that you're offering. I highly suggest that anybody that's just getting into getting a website for themselves, or already have a website and their term is coming up, you know, about to be done for whatever you signed up with, check Griff out. This is what he's offering you. You're not going to find anywhere else.
Yeah. So now it's in, so it's setting up the hosting and everything. That'll take about maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Once the hosting is set up, then I can do the one-click install for the WordPress. And then the WordPress takes about maybe 15 minutes to go through, get all the databases and everything set up. And then, like I said, then I throw in the HTTPS, and you're pretty much good to go.
Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait. So, wait a second, Griff. Can I feature Griff on my new website?
All right.
Is that allowed? Can I feature you on my website with a little YouTube video?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So then from here, let me check one more thing over here. Let me check, make sure I got my email.
Yeah, look at that. We'll get you another backlink, you know, for your SEO purposes, and get your website and everything on my site too. And there you go. You start popping up for everything.
All right. So your account is active for is the hosting. All right. I don't need that. Boom. So now it takes about 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So that takes about 10 minutes. And then once that's done, then there's a bunch of stuff that I do for setting up the security, your login protection, all of that, because people are always trying to hack in to stuff. They
Right.
send out bots. One of the cool tools that I use, and I'm gonna tell you, this tool is nice. It's called Word Fence.
Word fence.
Yeah,
Okay.
Word Fence. Look, man, that thing when it blocks, when you got the paid version, it blocks some everything. It blocks everything. It does some serious security. You can have two-factor logins, all of that. So case in point, like on here,
Excuse me.
and I'll change that later. Boom. Two-factor authentication.
Nice.
And then I have the app on my phone, and then I go in here and I type in the number. You know, I would, if I had, you know, I could, you know, type in a number, and whatever number it pops up on the two-factor authentication, you can't get in without that. So even if somebody saw my name, the random code, 8-digit or whatever, 10-digit code, it's too many combinations for them to figure out.
Yeah, it's like having one of those fobs back in the day.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like that.
Right. So that it offers that, so you can do all kinds of security stuff on here, two-factor authentication. You could actually tell it to block out certain countries.
Okay.
So some of my clients, they pay for this to block those bots coming from China and Russia.
Yeah. Those bots are an issue. You get a lot of them in your chat these days down too.
Yeah. And then one of the things you can also get is it'll block. You can and if I don't know if they still have the feature, but a couple of years ago they had the feature where when somebody went to it, went to a certain, try to block, you know, get in, it was a block, it would tell them, hey, we're going to report you to the FBI.
Nice.
You could say that. If you don't block countries, you can actually go in there and block individual IP addresses. It actually tells you where people are coming from, all of that. You know, so the Word Fence is tight. I mean, the free version is good, but if you wanted to get the paid version, and it's not that much. Let me show y'all the you know, $99. You know, and this is what most people get. You know, they'll just get the $99 one. You can get the free one, which blocks a lot of stuff. But like this here, 40,000 malicious IP addresses blocked. You know, dynamically updated IP block lists, all that kind of stuff. And then they send out notifications on security features. So like every time WordPress does a security update, I get an email and it tells me what the updates were.
Right.
Now that might be a little too much for some people, but that's the kind of stuff that I look at, and it's cool. I mean, it's real cool. The $99 one is very, very good to have if depending on what you're doing on your site and you really want it protected, you know. So any other questions?
Not that I have, but I'm sure that, you know, the people down in the chat box, they're gonna have some questions. So I will answer them as they come.
All right. So I'm gonna edit this video to put it on the front, which everybody's gonna see the video. Like, what are you talking about? Put it on the front. It was already on the front. Yeah, at the time we did the video, it wasn't on the front.
Right, right.
Put it on the front. Hey, look, I told y'all, and I forgot to tell y'all, we had Notary Tech Talk, but y'all know what it's about.
And it's also like 1 o'clock in the morning right now. So
I know, man. I know. I know, man.
See the dedication that Griff has for the people? Come on now. Follow that Notary Tech Talk. He's putting out gems for everybody.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thanks and everything. So, party people, just hang out for a sec, Q, for once I close out. But y'all, hey, look, this is what it's about. We're just trying to help out notaries and everything to do better and to find ways to save money. Now, somebody really wanted, I mean, you can pay me, you know, I mean, it could cost you about $2,500 and I'll carve out the time to build you a website. But, you know, I think most of you can do it yourself. I really do. I really do think you can do it yourself. And you may have some people in your team that can get in there and learn it. You go to WP Craft on YouTube. They got great videos and all that. And again, fair use. YouTube wasn't trying to use his monetized stuff and all of that. So don't be dinging me. But other than that, y'all have a good one. I'll see y'all in a little bit. Peace.